All right, let's dive into something that might just flip what you think you know about intelligence right on its head. It's a really fascinating idea that challenges a belief most of us grew up with.
Ever since we were kids, we're basically taught one thing. Smart equals fast. The person who shoots their hand up first, who has the quickest answer, that's the person we all think is the smartest in the room. And think about it, our whole society celebrates this. We love quick wit in a conversation. We admire rapid-fire problem-solving in a meeting. We see these things as the ultimate sign of a sharp, brilliant mind. But what if that's not the whole story? What if that's actually the less important part? Because, a lot of new research is telling us that the true sign of a superior intellect isn't about hitting the gas pedal. It's about knowing how to use the brakes. And that is the absolute key right here. The highest, most effective form of intelligence isn't about speed. It's about the power to pause. It's this simple mental move that can give you an incredible psychological edge.
So what exactly is the pause? Well, it's this incredibly short window of time, we're talking less than 3 seconds, where you deliberately create a little bit of space between something that happens and how you react to it. It's the moment you choose to be strategic instead of just impulsive.
Okay, so let's get into the science of this, because this isn't just some nice, feel-good idea. It's a real biological process. It's literally about learning how to override your own brain's default programming. So think of your brain as having two basic modes. First, there's the automatic mind. This is your default setting. A car cuts you off in traffic, you immediately lay on the horn. It's fast, it's efficient, but man, it is often the wrong move. But then you have the strategic mind. This part uses what scientists call executive control to basically intercept that automatic signal before you act on it.
And there's a cool scientific name for this skill. It's called cognitive inhibition. It's your brain's ability to catch that first initial gut reaction, that flash of anger or fear, and just hold it for a second, to look at it instead of just letting it take over. Because without that ability, what are we? We're basically just slaves to our impulses. We become like puppets on a string, and our emotions, anger, fear, ego, they're the ones pulling those strings, telling us exactly what to do.
So learning to use the pause is really like building a muscle. It's developing the mental strength to find that tiny gap between what happens to you and how you choose to respond to it. So what's actually happening in your head during these few seconds? It's really important to get this. You're not freezing, you're calculating. We can call it the zoom out effect. Imagine things are getting heated, maybe an argument is getting chaotic. The pause lets you mentally take a step back to just detach from that intense emotional moment. And in that split second, your brain runs a whole series of super fast simulations.
You're asking yourself these crucial questions. The first one is pure strategy. Okay, if I say this thing I really want to say, what's going to happen next? You're playing chess while everyone else is just reacting emotionally.
And then you might dig a little deeper into the other person's perspective. You go beyond the surface and you ask, what's really driving this person? What do they actually want out of this situation? And then, maybe the most important question of all, you do a quick cost-benefit analysis on yourself. You ask, is winning this fight right here, right now, even worth my energy? Is this the hill I want to die on? And that is the key difference right there. Reacting means you're just trapped in the present moment. But responding, after taking that pause, means you're acting with the future in mind. You're not just dealing with what's happening now, you're shaping what happens next. Which brings us to the really big payoff here, understanding the huge difference between a reaction and a response, and how that leads to something we could call quiet power. Let's be really clear about this. A reaction is just a defense mechanism. It's actually weak because it's predictable. People learn which buttons to push to get you to react. But a response? That's a deliberate choice. It's powerful precisely because it's unpredictable, and it's completely under your control. And this is what leads to that quiet power. See, true strength, especially when the pressure is on, isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's not about being the most aggressive. It's actually the person who can control their own nervous system, who can stay calm and deliberate. They're the one who ends up controlling the entire situation. You become the calm in the storm, and suddenly, everyone else starts to revolve around you. So where does all this lead? Well, this skill isn't just some clever tactic for winning arguments. It's about achieving something much deeper, a kind of ultimate freedom, the power to choose. The psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl just nailed this idea with this incredible quote. He said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space,
In that space is our power to choose our freedom.
That space he's talking about, that is the pause. It's the very definition of personal freedom. It's the difference between letting the world dictate your behavior and choosing your behavior for yourself with intention and purpose.
So I guess the final question to leave you with is a personal one. The next time the pressure's on, the next time you feel that hot flash of anger or that cold shot of fear, can you find that space? Can you find the pause? Because how you answer that question might just be the truest measure of intelligence there is.